Hi there. For this activity, all we have to do is to refresh our skip counting ability. So in this case, if you can see, we have series of 10,000s. All we have to do is just to skip count by 10,000. So if you can see the given example, it is skip counting by 10,000. We have 10,000, 20,000, 30,000. So this basically depends on the given example. Why did we skip count until 30,000? Because there are 3 units of 10,000. Okay, doing the next given example, we have 4 units of 10,000. All you have to do here is to skip count the value. So that's 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, and what goes next is 40,000. In this case, if you can see, it's basically just the same approach. It's just that we have increased our place value from 10,000s to 100,000. So given 1, 2, 3, 4 units of 10,000, so all you have to do is just to skip count until you reach the 4th unit. So that's 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, 400,000. Okay, if you can see, in this case, it is quite easy to do this because all you have to do is just to count the number of units given in each place value. For example, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units of ones. Okay? But that is not the case here because the logic of this activity is for you to be able to see how the number is built. So in that case, we have to start from the highest given place value, which is in this case is 1 million. And all we have to do here is to start or skip count from that place value. For example, 1 million. Since we only have 1 unit of 1 million here, so that's equivalent to 1 million alone. Okay, continuing to skip count the value to the next lower place value, which is the 100,000s. All you have to do is to continue skip counting, which is 1,100,000, 1,200,000. So at this point, you have 1,200,000. Numbers are being grouped into 3 and they are separated by a comma. Continuing the skip count to the next lower place value, we have the the 10,000s place rather. So we have 1,210,000, 1,220,000, 1,230,000. So that's equivalent to 1,230,000. So going to the next lower place value, which we now have the thousands place. So continue the skip count process. So that's 1,231,000, 1,232,000, 1,233,000, and 1,234,000. So skip counting by the 100. That's 1,234,100, 1,234,200, 1,234,300, 1,234,400, 1,234,500. So that's it. We now have 1,234,500. Continuing to the tens place, I'm just going to change the color so it will be clear. So we have to continue skip counting by 10. So that's 1,234,510, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So that's 1,234,560. And going to the next place value, which is the last place value, which is the ones. So that's 1,234,561, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, which we now have here. Okay, so the concept of this activity is just for you to see how the number is formed by simply combining all the given numbers here through skip counting, starting from the biggest given place value. So the next topic will be about writing numbers into words. So before you're going to learn how to write numbers into words, you have to be familiar of their spelling first. So I will just leave this here as your guide. Hi there. In this lesson, we are going to learn how to change numbers to words. Okay. This is basically just the same as reading a number. But in this case, for you to be able to read numbers up to millions, such as you have to first learn how to read by hundreds. This is our key here for you to learn how to read the hundreds first. So how do we read the numbers inside the hundreds family? So let's just call this as the hundreds family. Okay. How would you read this number? The digit on the ones place should only be read as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay? So for example, in this case, this is read as 2. For the digit in the tens place, which is in this case is the 7, the digits in the tens place is read depending on the given digit. For example, if it's from 2 to 9, if it's from 2 to 9 under tens, okay? Under tens, you read them as 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and 90. In this case, which is 7, we will read this as 70. But what if the digit is 1? If the digit is 1 in the tens place, we basically read them as, depending on the given ones digit, so it only ranges from 11 to 19. Okay? So for the hundreds digit, we have 4. And in the hundreds digit, we don't read them as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You don't read them as 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. But instead, you read them as 100, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900. So which is in this case, since it's 4, we will read this as 400. So reading this number, we have 472. Okay? Let's try to read another number. So then again, we have this certain number here. And how do we read this number? Technically, if you already know how to read this, you would say that it's 836. So identifying these so-called best friends that I consider. The last two place value, which is the tens and the ones. I would consider them the best friends because it will be easier for you to read them as 1. So in this case, 3 and 6 together alone, if you are not going to include 8 there, if 8 is not included there, you can say that the digit given now is just 36. Let's put back 8 again. So in this case, we now know that this is 36. Okay, we forgot to put the dash there as is a formality in terms of writing a number. So going back, we now know that it is 36. The best friends are 36. Since 3 is in the tens place, so you read them as 30. And the ones place is 6, we read them as just 6 alone. So that's a total of 36. And for the 8, we know that 8 is in the hundreds place again. So since it's in the hundreds place, all you have to do is to read it as 800. So to read the number entirely, that's 836. So that's basically how you write the given number. Okay? So let's try to go back to our first example, like the one earlier. You might ask me earlier, Teacher Mark, why did you call this as the hundreds family? Because that is our clue in basically reading everything. Because in my way of teaching how to read numbers, I group them according to their family, which is in this case, this last 3 digit belongs to the hundreds family, while the next place value is called the thousands family. Why is this called the thousands family? Because however you read the number, if you are just going to take 385 away, so that's 385, and let's copy the 672 there. 672. So if you're going to read this number, assuming that 672 is not there, how would you read this number? Assuming that you have already learned how to read the hundreds, like what we were doing earlier. You would basically read this as 385. But remember that it basically belongs to the thousands place. So let's put the number back earlier, 672. 672. And since 385 belongs to the thousands family, you should read it as 1,000 as well. So for example, 385 what? It should be 385,000. And now we can finally add the last 100 family, which is 672. So just like that, 385,672. So going back to the given example earlier, we have the next place value, which is in this case is this 4 over here. And the set of number found here is read as or belongs to the millions family. So let's try to rewrite that number earlier. We have 4, 385, 672. Then again, earlier you were able to learn how to read this number. The last 3 digits belongs to the hundreds family. So it is read as 1, which is 672. Just that. And you also learned how to read this part of the number, which is 385. Since it belongs to the thousands family, you should read it as 385,000. Okay? Now, how about for the millions family? So we can see that we have this certain value over here, which is 4. Okay. So since the number is only 4, all you have to do is just to write 4. And since it belongs to the millions family, all you have to do now is to write 4 million. Okay. 4 million what? 4 million 385. 385 what? 385 belongs to what family? The thousands family. So that's equivalent to 385,000. 385,000, and what's left is 672. So that's basically how you read numbers up to millions and even billions, as long as you know the place value of the given numbers. So let's try to do this once more. Okay. So let's start with the highest given place value, which is in this case 73. And if you notice, 73 belongs to which family? The millions family. So in this case, we are going to read this as 73. 73 million. Since it belongs to the millions family, we will say 73 million. Then what? Then this value over here, which is 207. 207 what? Since it belongs to what family? It belongs to the thousands family. So that's 207,000. Then we now have the last family, which is the hundreds family. So that's equivalent to, how would you read this since it belongs to the hundreds family? So it's 892. That's basically how you read the number and how to change it into words. Okay, so this is basically for advanced. This is for bigger values. So let's try to have a virtual activity. So I'm gonna give you a number here and you try to answer it. Okay, I'm gonna give you a number and you try to read it in your head, and if you'll be able to have the time, try to write it down to practice. Okay, you can just pause the video if you want so that you'll have the time to write it down. Okay. Okay, try to write this down. Okay, pause the video here if you wish and try to write or change this number into words. Okay, I hope you already have your answer, and let's try to change this number into words. So if you notice, we have a millions family in this case. So since it's only 3, all you have to do is just to write 3 million. And if you also notice that we have the thousands family. So in this case, since this belongs to the thousands family, so all you have to do is just to read it like 100 family. So that's 477. But since it belongs to the thousands family, you have to add 1,000. 477,000. And of course, we now have the last family, which is the hundreds family. So you basically just read it as 842. That's it. So reading the number entirely, so that's 3,477,842. So that's it. Let's try to read another one. Let's try to change another one. Again, you can pause this video so that you'll have more time to try this number out. Okay, if you notice, we have the family of millions here. So which means since it's only 5, you just write 5 million. Million. Then we have the thousands family. But if you notice, how would you read this number alone? How would you read this number? Since this is missing, you just read this number, which is 32. So that's 32. 32 what? It belongs to which family? It belongs to the thousands family. So that's 32,000. And what's left is this value over here. If you notice, we missed the hundreds place and the tens place. So we only have this, which means all you have to do is just to read that number. That number is what? 7. So it's only 7. So reading the number entirely, that's 5,032,007. Or in formality, you can say 5,032,007. So that's basically it. How to basically change a number to words in millions.